Ladies and gentlemen of the interwebs, welcome to the Beacon TVL show, your show for getting the best takes on what's going on in the blockchain, on-chain, and digital asset industry here every single week. I'm your host, Chris the DeFi Professor. Thank you for coming around and playing with us today. Got a great show lined up for you. We've got our friend of the show, President of Nebraska, Stand With Crypto. Can I say VP of Sales at Quantum Medium? I thought we were going to be getting some interesting weather. I was a little worried, but we got lucky. What day was that? Sunday? Yeah, Sunday.
All my coins blew away.
Yeah, I mean all of the Bitcoins blew away, but they all got reconcentrated in a funnel cloud and moved to the northwest. So I was looking at the wall cloud in real time. It never actually, at least here, it didn't actually produce any funnels. The one Monday did, but that was well to the southeast of us. So, just dodging twisters out this way. So,
standard Nebraska stuff.
Yeah, one thing we were talking about was before we came online, and I think is a fun little thing that we should consider is I really do think we need to get back to falconry. Is it really called falconry if you're doing all like eagles and hawks and stuff like so? If we actually had, like, the example I had was like at an Auburn University football game, War Eagle. They actually have a large bald eagle. Is he a bald eagle? I believe he's a bald eagle, flying from one side of the from the top of the stadium down to its handler, with its
sure
hand out, or it flies across the. One of the things, it flies either way. It flies across the stadium. It's a huge symbol of War Eagle. But I'm just like, do we need more of that, like before like a big announcement at the White House? Like just seeing, like they just come in, like you hear the sound of the like the eagle, I think, and then just an eagle just flying down across the lawn of the White House. Would that be empowering, do you think?
No, we need more. We need more America on top of it. If we don't have an MMA fight inside of a cage and some monster trucks driving around it with a demolition derby on the side and really giant big gulps of Mountain Dew and the cheapest beer, it's not really America. Apparently. So I've been told. People are saying that.
Yeah, so interestingly enough that you say that, because that made me think of this article that I saw yesterday.
I can't even joke anymore. It's like a real article.
No, it's like a real... No, well, because you mentioned that, and then it made me think of an article I saw about the ballroom, right? And we'll get to the crypto news in a second, guys. But this is interesting.
I got my American flag behind me.
Because the ballroom is like a big thing of contention right now. Because we're close to the midterms, guys. We're going to see nothing but midterms now, all the way down until November. The idea that they've actually built a subterranean complex below the ballroom where it's going to be.
A bunker
is the word, correct.
Yeah.
And they're building a 360-degree drone interceptor base on top, I think is probably, honestly, the most interesting part of this. So my thing is, why stop here? Why not just build drone interceptors, kind of like how they build cell phone towers into multiple spots around Washington, D.C.? I mean, I don't think you need to put it on top of the White House. I think you should put it around the perimeter of the White House. Put up all kinds of interesting obelisks or something like that kind of look like, what is that? Is that a cherry blossom? No, it's a nest of drone interceptors ready to intercept and take down like a bunch of eagles. Eagles' nests. See, that's what they need. Eagles' nests.
More eagles trained to take out the drones. Actually, they do train birds to do that.
Yeah. In fact, you could have just beautiful columns that look like they have an eagle's nest on top, and they just fire out drones like a Pez machine.
I'm a little bit concerned, though, Chris. It doesn't say anything about like a McDonald's being internally built or anything like that. So is it really going to be a self-maintaining, ecosystem properly if we
You
can't hit a button with Diet Coke.
That is a very good point. That is a very
But
good
it
point.
really does seem like that guy's not intent on leaving, and he's just going to live in that ballroom.
I mean,
Maybe
it's a 6-story subterranean thing. So I would think
that's
that,
not a ballroom anymore.
well, I mean, I would think that at some point it would become like an underground Trump Tower at some point,
A
right? That
bunker with a ballroom on top.
exactly. And then
Just let that idea again.
there's going to be luxury apartments on floors 3 to -3. Let's just call it. I personally, I would like to see it, the floors go negative. That would be cool. Before you
I
get
like
to like,
when they go B. Let's call them B1, 2, 3, and go down. But
see, we
negative
need more
works.
more negative flooring. Not B is fine,
I
but
like
I
the
think
positive.
that's fair. That's fair. Uh,
News right now. I'm
all
glad that
right.
our tax dollars are being spent so wisely on self-defense.
Hey, it's privately funded. Remember, it's privately funded. At least this
Oh
part.
yeah, that's right. We are not paying a penny for that.
Nope,
That's pretty cool.
we are not. But
I'm
you
just gonna
couldn't.
believe that. I'm gonna say that as I go to sleep over and over.
uh,
What do we got on the list here? Lots of red. It was looking like over the 7th day.
Well, it's interesting. So we have the news about clarity. It's going to be going to a from what I saw through multiple reporting agencies, the actual act passed 15-9 out of committee, and it's going to go to a Senate floor vote sometime next week.
Trump said he would pass it as soon as it hit his desk.
Exactly.
Which remains to be seen, but I believe him on this one.
Right. So here's the issue that we have, and maybe I should have pulled up a tweet with this. The Clarity Act itself needs 60 votes to pass. If you guys know, there's like a 52-48, very slight majority in the Senate. So they're going to need to convince, would be the word, 9 other people. And I think I talked about this last week when I went solo dolo, because Chris Van Hollen is like, along with like roughly about 9 other moderate senators who need to kind of be convinced of this, because he's all on the ethics train. If they tasked Elizabeth Warren with no banking, they tasked Chris Van Hollen with all about ethics, because he's going to go hardcore against the fact that Trump and his family, regardless of what you think about the technicality of what's going on with his actual crypto empire, let's just call it a crypto empire, because he has a mining company, rather his family has a mining company, DeFi protocols, a stable coin, obviously the Trump coin itself, the First Lady has a coin. All of this stuff, when you put it all together, it is not a good looking optic from an ethics perspective that the largest market influencer in the world lives in the White House.
We just had a Bitcoin conference at a casino. It's kind of symbolic in a way that isn't necessarily flattering.
I honestly don't mind the fact that let's put it this way. Had they moved it to the Las Vegas Convention Center, would you have felt any differently? Or just because it's in Las Vegas, which is historically a gambling town?
I wouldn't have minded if the context was different. If we were still like good, clean blockchain builders doing good for the world with a, cypherpunk ethos, I don't care if it's on the moon or in Vegas. I probably wouldn't have made the connection. But when it feels like the entire industry is a casino, and then you hold the event at a casino, it feels a little bit on the nose.
It does feel a little bit on the nose. I mean, this kind of goes with the fact that the founder party in Miami at Consensus was at 11, which is historically a strip bar.
I think it's not just historically. I think it's like actively, currently a strip club.
Oh,
and,
okay. Fair enough.
Yes.
Currently and actively.
I don't know, though. I should be careful speaking on that, but it did seem like there were female dancers there.
I see.
And the behavior of the the fellow bros, let's
I see.
say, was unbecoming of the gentlemanly conduct that we are typically known for in this industry.
I didn't go, so I can't comment. All I know is that I don't go to those events mainly because when I like to network with people, I like to actually hear them. I like to be able to
Yes.
look them in the eye and actually talk to them without doing this or this type of thing. So that's why I prefer like the more quiet like coffee events, maybe the occasional brunch event. Uh, but in general, if it's at a club, like the majority of them were last year in Vegas, um, with the exception of the Tyson's Mansion events, those are always kind of quirky. Uh, not really always trying to network at those, unfortunately. So, but looking at the market while we have it up here on the screen, as you can see, we are continuing to crab, much like I've been calling for all year. Uh, they just can't seem to get out of their own way. Actually, we've had a ton of outflows, which is about on message for where we're at. We're a little bit. I'm not gonna say we're in a shaky situation, but we're in a situation where there's a lot of interesting things happen. We're not. It's not on the agenda to talk about the U.S. China summit last week, but there's a lot of news there,
Mm.
specifically with the AI bubble that we'll kind of cover in a little bit. That has a little bit to do with the way that stocks with regards to the tech sector, along with how they're coupled again back with both equities as well as crypto and digital assets. We'll see exactly how this all kind of plays out. Now, I will say, if we go back, if you look at, I think there's some green. Yep, there's a couple of greens specifically around some very, I don't know about Leo, but Zcash, Hype, and Tron. I don't know why Tron's going crazy, but I was going to say RWAs specifically, or anything that's related to RWAs, is actually doing quite good. Near, pardon me, near being one of them. Ondo certainly being one of them. And then let me see if there's another one here. Venice is AI, and the rest are kind of like specialized networks. But overall, there seems to be a slight decoupling with RWAs and tokenization type entities or infrastructure related to that, as opposed to the rest of the market. So I do think we're going to see more of this going on. I mean, we're looking at 39 now on fear and greed, Logan. So there's some people a little curious about a
You
lot of
know,
the selling. You were saying, I'm sorry.
yeah, I look at that. You know what I like looking at? I like a
Mm-hmm.
good analysis read.
Yes.
I mean, I take my TA too, but yeah, I love kind of doing the psychological read, looking at Twitter, seeing how people are commenting on the space in general. I love a good fear and greed index reader.
Yes.
I think we could
Agreed.
have more, but I won't start talking about that. But yeah, actually, it was at, I think the last time we talked, it was at 16, and it was just previously at 8. I mean, we had bottomed out. It was an absolute horror film.
Yeah. But then the last like 3 weeks or so, it's been above 50. So people
People
got a
getting
little
greedy.
happy. People got a little
Yeah,
happy.
there's yeah. Why are both of the emotions just totally negative? There's nothing positive out of there. It's either you're like scared or greedy. What does that say about us? But
you know
yeah, it is an interesting indicator.
Yeah, and I think it leads into a lot of what we're seeing here. I think just frames a lot of the narrative that we're seeing. These are all, with the exception of Dash, Dexy, and XDC. We're seeing AI, we're seeing Hyperliquid, and we're seeing Zcash along with Near. So we're seeing um, privacy, AI, and
Privacy, privacy, privacy.
perp dexes. I mean, these are going to be the things. I mean, hype has a specific reason why they're up 32%. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. But overall, AI. I mean, we've been talking about VVV in our community, well, since it launched. So we haven't given up on VVV at all. Something that we think we're. I'm a big fan of Eric Voorhees, who's the man behind the team. And I think that what he's doing really just sets the bar. I think for what the spirit of DeFi is. So if you haven't used Venice, check it out. It's Venice.ai. I mean, just pull it up. It looks like a spa now, like a health. Oop, that's not it. I
I
can't
can't.
type.
I maybe my screen might be a bit goofy, Chris, but I'm still seeing Coin Market Cap.
Yeah, I see that. That's unfortunate that that's going on, because that's going to be more of this dumb stuff that happens. But anyway, this is
There we
Venice,
are.
and
Ooh
Venice.
la la.
I'm not going to
That
say
interface.
it's not private AI, but it's fairly uncensored AI, and that's the cool part about Venice, is that you can choose multiple models that you want, and they don't log anything. Now they have to buy whatever, for whatever reason, have to grab some information. And if you're a Venice Pro user, they're going to grab some of that information. But overall, uh, it's it's a pretty good text inference client, and that's the one thing that's very nice about it. The pricing on it is not bad either. Oh wow, it used to be $9. Now it is. Wow, now they have really gone up. So this isn't supposed to be an ad for Venice, but
I was gonna say, where's your affiliate link, Chris?
you know, I mean, if people want to give me a cut for recommending Diem, which is the inference token from them, which, by the way, has Diem is nutsoid. Let's see. You know what? Let's look at Diem here.
And if
If
you'd
anyone,
like to
everyone
make
wants to say thank you for Diem, feel free.
Chris, if you'd like to make any donations to Chris, feel free to reach out to me and send those to
Yeah, I mean,
I'll take all those donations.
looking at what Diem has done here. Uh, when we started talking about Diem quite some time ago, uh, yeah, it's done really well. Not really going to go too much into Diem, because that's just for you to do some research on. Not financial advice. Do your own research. I'm curious why Chili's is up 7. That's interesting. Not that it's anywhere near its all-time high, but Chili's being
We're
fan
looking
token.
at the pricing we're looking at the pricing list.
Sorry. This is going to be completely annoying if it continues to do this.
Oh, so you're trying to switch over and it's being a total butthead.
It is. It is. I was just saying that, Chili's.
There we are.
I need to move my
bubbles.
mouse. Give me a comment if you are seeing it not move. I'd like to know. That would be fantastic. But generally, this thing works beautifully. So it is what it is today.
And if it is working, make sure you give a like and share and leave a comment for the algorithm to support Beacon DeFi. Make sure you show your love and support by doing the clicking.
Yes, appreciate you, man.
Love
Also
is like.
follow Logan as well. We'll
Thank
have that
you. I'm Crypto Logan on Twitter, but with zeros.
with zeros. Yes, we'll
Yes.
continue to push that at the end. Sorry, I'm just moving some things around. So
Yeah, it's fine. I wanted to make sure that I do one of these for you.
I appreciate that, brother.
But yeah, anyhow, we're carry on. We got Hype.
No,
Zach,
you're fine. Hype, Zcash,
VVV.
VVV, and Chili's is up 7, which is interesting. Is this Hemi? What is H? Nope, that's Humanity. Never mind. We'll move on.
How's humanity doing? Oh, we're up 175%.
Because
Good. I'm
as
glad
humanity should be.
Right, yeah, we always should generally be on an upswing if things are going well. I would say we technically are.
I mean, this is kind of like a good this is a good reflection of our mental state, right? Humanity finally broke out of the massive triangle structure after months of compression.
Oh, the dad joke
Ain't that right?
is really tickled.
Louder for the people in the back.
Woo! We broke out of that.
We broke out of that.
The descending wedge has been busted. Let's move up to the moon for humanity.
We're looking at a cup and handle for humanity, ladies and gentlemen.
It might. Hopefully, we don't crab walk for humanity.
Exactly. But that's okay. Are we up and to the right for humanity? You bet your ass we are.
I'm gonna go buy that token because now I'm sold.
Yeah, you sold me a ticket for humanity, man. That's what I love about having Logan on the show. He sells me a ticket for humanity every single time. Let's talk about the executive order. That's the title of the show.
Oh boy,
Because
executive order. Here we go.
so what I will say is this has a lot. This has a lot of interesting implications, right? Because the Clarity
It does.
Act is not passed yet, but the SEC and the CFTC and the FDIC have made multiple statements supporting American innovation in this space. Now, with that said, the interesting timing of this is that Senator Elizabeth Warren yesterday had put in a formal request for the DOJ to look into, or something, was the DOJ? To look into the OCC, the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, for granting banking licenses to Paxos, to Ripple, to Coinbase, and other crypto organizations or crypto facing organizations as a protest for giving them banking license. So, in response, President Trump issues an executive order to allow integration of digital assets into traditional financial services and payment systems. The other thing he has also put in here as well, as a response to Senator Warren, is to allow the Fed to grant master account access to fintech agencies as they see fit. Now, that's interesting because he just installed, and I believe he is being sworn in on Friday, the new Fed chair, Kevin Warsh. Regardless of how he's going to, let's be honest, screw over Trump's policy wishes, because he's just too hawkish, in my opinion, the ability to now grant it, because I do think that he would actually allow the Fed to give master accounts to companies. Boy, if he gives one to World Liberty Financial, then the corruption is complete.
I need to bring this down a level because I'm not actually sure that I've only recently caught up on this news just before this event. I need to break this down. Does this essentially mean that blockchain and crypto company firms can essentially bypass commercial banks to go to the Fed?
Yes.
Because if that's oh my God. Guys, this is like the dam breaking.
Well,
the choke point of the banks, like it's been an absolute killer. When we were pushing on clarity, the banks were pushing back so hard, and Donald Trump just cut their legs off. What the heck? This is insane. I'm sorry, I'm just grasping this now like live.
No, you're fine.
Goodness.
There is there's something we covered.
Take it apart, but wow.
Let me grab the Kraken.
The Kraken, indeed. Release the Kraken. Like,
well,
oh my God, like, the Kraken just got released because like banks just got kneecapped. No more Wall Street middleman for blockchainers. The whole industry is about to go bonkers, and I don't know if it's a good thing, but it's going to go bonkers.
So let me.
Look, indeed.
Hold on, I didn't
Screen's
move
not tracking. Yep,
yeah,
good. You're on the horse.
So
there we go.
This was we went over this on the show in March. Kraken, and I was like at the time, and I don't know if you were on the show. You might have been on the show, Logan. Now I think about it. Well, I was like, actually no, this was after Ethan versus not yet.
It might have been slightly before I was hopping on.
Yeah,
but
so
anyhow.
Kraken, and I don't know how this happened because the question I had to ask was how did Coinbase and Binance not get this first? Kraken got through Fed Governor Christopher Wallen, got a pilot program to get what's called a skinny master, which is a master account with the Fed where they get access to the Fed's payment rails, but not the lending facilities. My guess is in the event that that this goes through with Kevin Warsh and he allows this, it will also be in this realm. Honestly, I don't think most companies want to deal with the lending facilities for the Fed anyway because of what happened with the BTFP program. And now the Fed has more than $1 trillion in debt that they're never going to be able to get off their books for the next 60 years due to it. But the idea that there's going to be an idea that there's going to be the Fed working directly with fintech companies as opposed to going around the bureaucratic rails of, around the bank lobby and all that type of stuff is, as you mentioned, huge news. This is the type of progress that a lot of people in this industry, frankly, were looking for when President Trump came into power. So this executive order, which I'm guessing is going to get fought tooth and nail, absolutely will.
Oh,
The
it's
I
already assaulted. I can absolutely guarantee you.
exactly,
Putting in another call to Pete Ricketts' office, something tells me in a week or two.
exactly. So the federal government must update regulations to allow integration of digital assets and innovative technology into traditional financial services and payment systems. This is something that's already been going on, but this is really meant to just kind of, I don't know, reiterate the point, I guess. Because to say that we needed an EO for this, I think is a little bit overblown because the majority of fintech services looking for this already exists, right? Has a Goldman is late to the party, but everyone else, JP Morgan, all these other groups already have this digital asset access. Schwab is literally, pushing it to their entire base now. I mean, everyone's already got it. So I think this is more for, and I was on the shout out to Mike and Mick from the Adoption Pod last night. We were talking about this last night on their podcast. There's going to need to be some sort of adoption layer by smaller and medium banks. And maybe this is the catalyst that gets them over the line. Not saying that there aren't groups already working with them, because there are multiple groups out there. They just don't have the scale to bring on most of these banks on quickly. It's like, well, we're trying it here. I think Braid's one of those groups. They're trying with several smaller banks in the Northeast for like 12 months. And then hopefully if that works out, they'll work their way across the country. I mean, the speed at which this is going to happen, Logan, we're going to need to figure out a way to get more banks to be able to tap into the pipeline to offer, to offer more of that there. And one thing that we probably should talk about is, friend of the show, Avi Mash, shout out to Avi, for 21
Go,
rates.
Avi.
Governor Tim Walz signed this bill. It passed 130-4, which I think is very telling in the state of Minnesota, honestly, that lets banks and credit unions offer crypto custody. Now, it doesn't say, I haven't looked at the bill, so I don't know exactly how much that is going to be, but a clear path to hold Bitcoin for banks on their balance sheets and allow their customers to do it starting August 1st. There's going to be more states doing this. So I think.
So is Liz Warren right? Is there going to be a bank run where we all suddenly decide, there's like game theory takes over and then word starts to spread. It's like, hey, did you move your dollars over to Bitcoin? And your Uncle Joe's going to say, wait, what? What? To a bit? Who got bit? And you're going to
Who got bit?
He's going to go to his bank and they're going to explain it. And then he's going to say, you know what? I don't know what it is, but my nephew, Chris, told me about this thing and I'm going to go ahead and buy some. And Liz Warren and the bankers, when they were pushing on clarity, the big, alarm bell they were ringing, and the reason they wanted pushback and to hold it up was they're afraid that there's going to be a bank run. That literally is the message of fear that they were trying to put out. But are they right? I'd be curious to hear if anyone in the audience is everyone in your family going to go and buy Bitcoin as soon as they can get it at a credit union in Nebraska? I mean, we're already getting there. Nebraska's pretty crypto forward. I wouldn't be shocked if we're not terribly far behind Minnesota or ahead.
That's an interesting question, right? Because the whole problem with digital assets is always going to be marketing. They need the right type of framing for this, right? Frankly, without stepping on the toes of gold bugs, because I do think that people will think that they are not necessarily one and the same, but they're going to be curious what's the difference between the two. And then if people start talking about Bitcoin in the same way they talk about gold, will it be a bank run against gold? Uh, because of, frankly, the verifiability issue. Because I talked about this last week. If you're going to buy gold, there's a couple things you have to think about. You have to think about A, where am I going to buy it? B, where am I going to store it? And B, how can I easily offload it if I ever need to? Along with how can I have a good verification showing that this hunk of metal is real gold? Bitcoin has all of that kind of baked into the fact that everything's verifiable by a hash, and it's digital. So it's got a lot of that same type of mechanism. I guess is the word I'm
Maybe
looking
we can
for.
get Peter Schiff on here and we can get him to talk about it. That guy talks about Bitcoin almost as much as he talks about gold, despite being a gold guy.
That's interesting. He does. And I think it's because everyone is programmed to ask him the question. And maybe that's the reason why. And the fact that, he got cooked by CZ, during their little debate, the 4-minute debate that they had about gold and Bitcoin.
If he
Yeah.
got cooked, he's well done, Chris. He's like charred and crispy on the edges because I'm pretty sure he's been, broiled and burned and grilled every which way on Twitter and social media as well. He's come out and more or less said that, he actually thinks that Bitcoin is a reasonable store of value. He won't admit it like every day, but
No,
I
he
think
won't.
he gets the gist. And he's
He
got
does.
a character to play. He's got his audience he needs to cater to. He can't suddenly just do a backflip and be a crypto boy.
That would be bad for his brand.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of, yeah. I'm a Ford dealer, but I like Toyota. Basically, yeah, kind of. So,
My other car is a Toyota Prius.
if it's so bad that you need to be talking about it all the time, then it's kind of a sign. And so we will see this crossover of I think the conservative fiscal Republican types who don't necessarily, and libertarian types who keep some of their money outside of the dollar, who haven't been privy to what blockchain is, because there's still a lot of people that haven't heard about it. I've brought up Bitcoin to some of my family members, and I made the joke earlier, oh, a coin, who bid it? But like, really, like, we're still kind of at that level where they've heard the word, but they don't know what it is. They can find the word on a multiple choice test, but they couldn't define it.
I'm opening my Etsy store today with T-shirts that say "Who bit my coin." I think that's fantastic.
Who bit my
Who
coin?
bit my coin?
My coin
uh,
got bit.
and my coin got bit exactly. I
We
mean,
could milk that all day. Actually, we should do an entire series of clothing based on it. Good idea, Chris.
I like it. I have a whole bunch of I have a whole bunch of ideas specifically on different types of shirts to make, but
We'll come back to that later. That's a
yeah,
different
we'll put a pin into that one. So
the
South
Beacon
Carolina,
DeFi T-shirt podcast.
exactly. The merch, the swag cast is what it's going to be.
Right?
We're
Yeah,
going to
there
have
we go.
it'll be like
That's
the,
later.
the QVC of it all.
Yeah,
South
stay tuned
Carolina,
later.
yeah, exactly. So South Carolina enacts a pro-crypto law banning state taxes on crypto payments, protecting self-custody rights, and prohibiting state agencies from accepting or testing CBDCs. This is taking what the state of Missouri has done, which now has no capital gains on investment vehicles, including crypto, to the next level. Not only do they ban state taxes on crypto payments, they're going to make sure that self-custody is protected and no accepting or testing CBDCs. That's a funny,
Yeah,
interesting word there. And I'm like, do you really need a CBDC in the state of South Carolina? I don't know. I mean, Florida's already passed the law, but I'm still wondering. You don't have a central bank in the state of South
right.
Carolina.
But what they're doing is, all the laws percolate up. A lot of people like to focus on the federal law, and that tends to be what makes people angry and what they kind of rally against. And they skip all the local elections and things like that. We just had the primaries here in Nebraska. We had a almost historically low turnout. Come on, guys, let's go Huskers.
I
But
voted. Did you vote?
oh, heck yeah. Of course I did. I'm so politically active, you couldn't have kept me away with a
Yeah,
10-foot pole.
we voted.
Um, yeah, I would have broken that pole. I would have done anything to vote. And so I did. But the turnout was low. People don't focus on local politics, but it's the local policy at the local and state level that percolates up to the top. And so what's happening now is that a bunch of different states are making these individual state laws so that if the federal government decides that it wants to, have its hands on your bank account and every single penny you own, well, they won't be able to because there'll be too many states that have already ratified laws against it. And so this is a state effort to keep the federal government in check in advance. And I am all for it. The battle of our lifetimes could be over a CBDC. It's kind of what they're using blockchain and money for in China, where it's like, hey, you said something bad about our CBDC. Sorry, Chris, you don't get to take any more airplane flights. We're turning off your wallet and you can't use it at any airports anymore. Sorry, bud. You should be more nice about when you talk about the United States as currency. I'm not for that. And that's what a CBDC allows. It allows micromanagement of individual citizens' money. And again, we need to own our money. That is the ultimate ethos of blockchain. I think originally, I think it can be bigger than that. That's a different conversation. But if we don't own our money, you don't have any money.
Not only do we need to own our money, we need to own our data and we need to own our identity. Right?
Yep.
Self-sovereign wealth is the whole point of everything we've talked about here on this podcast for the last, 3.5 years. No, 4 years at this point. Quick, before we continue, just want to say happy birthday to Beacon. We turned 3 years old this week. So very, very thankful to everybody who has supported us, anyone who's ever come to us for any type of help, any type of just wanting to be in this space, any protocol who's ever worked with us, blockchains, all of that type of stuff. Thank you so much for the love in doing that. Real quick, feel free to check us out, school.com/beacon, if you want to join our free group, Total Value Locked. Check out our Start Here post. You'll get information from myself and our CEO, Andrew, and you'll learn more about our free offerings as well as our paid offerings. And thank you to everybody who's ever been a Beacon Mastermind member, our Beacon Mastermind founding members, and our Spotlight and Beacon Challenger subscribers. We greatly appreciate everything you do for us and allowing us to make this possible. So please check us out if you want to. School.com/beacon. Also, if you haven't done so, globalpizza.party, which is not coming up on the screen. Let's do this again, which is crazy because everything was working. Globalpizza.party.
God's looking down upon us. But yeah, here we go. Global Pizza Party, baby. Woo! Over 500 cities having pizza for Pizza Day.
Exactly.
It's wonderful. That includes Omaha. So if you're in the Omaha, Lincoln area, or even if you're in Scotts Bluff, it's worth the drive. We'll give you free pizza.
And you get to meet us. rsv.pizza/Omaha. You can find that too around your city, wherever that's going to be. There's multiple cities around the world that are doing this. So for us, it'll be at Williamsburg Pizza, which is over by 168th and Harrison Street. Come meet myself, meet Logan, and meet others who are like-minded individuals, tech enthusiasts, as well as digital asset curious people looking to learn more about what is going on. Plus, you get some really great New York-style pizza, thanks to the folks at Williamsburg Pizza for, coming over to do this with us. And of course, shout out to Pizza DAO, shout out to Stand with Crypto, ENS, World Pizza Champions, and the official media partner of Pizza DAO, or at least for a Global Pizza Party, is On-Chain Media.
The most decentralized food on the planet is indeed a pizza.
It sure is it not? It teaches everything. It teaches fractional ownership and all this great stuff.
Right? It is a perfect symbol of what we're trying to accomplish here.
Exactly.
We'll come together with one and we'll all leave with a slice.
I like that.
Pardon the cheesy puns.
We'll all leave with a slice. Who bit my coin?
I'll give you a pizza, my mind.
Oh,
I know. I'm terrible. Like, come punch me in the face. Come on Friday. Punch me in the face for making those bad jokes.
I love it.
Oh my
Punch
God.
Logan in the face. Let's do that.
Like, yeah, that'll be one of our side events. But yeah, seriously, it's going to be a good time. Uh, if you don't know much about crypto and you like pepperoni, you can come. We're happy. I'm sure there will be people who are more than happy to talk endlessly to you about what blockchain is and what it does. Everyone in the group is always very enthusiastic. It's one of the things that makes blockchain so special is the amount of passion in the space. And I know things are political, but we got independents, right wing people, left wing people, Democrats, Republicans, you name it. It's strangely we're all united behind this one technology, regardless of where you fall on the political spectrum. And so it really feels like America when you come to a blockchain event. And come on, it's pizza, baby.
It's
We're
pizza.
doing it. So, yeah, how can you say no? You got to come.
Well, what we and just to
All
because
your friends too.
I have put out some content about this. I mean, we're celebrating the quirkiest peer-to-peer dinner in history that revolutionized the world because it
You want
did.
to tell them about the history?
What's that?
You want to tell them about why we're doing this?
Yeah. So the idea with Pizza Day is that uh, was it May 22, 2010.
Sure.
Laszlo Hanyecz decided to put on the Bitcoin Talk forum. Hey, I want to try an experiment. I want some pizza for dinner. You know, if you want to help me do this, I'll give you 10,000 Bitcoin. Do you know how much 10,000 Bitcoin is worth today, guys? That is going to be what's the price
We're
of
going to calculate. We're
that is
calculating.
that's going to be 775,300 I'm sorry, 775,410,000. I mean, it is nearly $1 billion to reproduce 10,000 Bitcoin for this experiment. So back then, 10,000 Bitcoin when this happened in 2010, $40. So imagine if you would have bought that back then. And so Jeremy Sturdivant took him up on the offer, and 2 Papa John's pizzas showed up at Laszlo's door for him and his family to have dinner, as one of the first Bitcoin transactions that happened between 2 people. And this is how Pizza Day started, and it's been celebrated ever since. So we're going to be
True
doing the
story.
same. Go
He
ahead.
lives in a big circular house. He bought an island in the Bahamas, and on one side it's shaped like a pizza, but on the other side it has a Bitcoin symbol.
No
And
way.
him and his, I'm lying.
Oh,
Sorry.
anyway.
What did happen to him? Like, I'm actually curious. Did he take that 10,000 Bitcoin and actually, become the world's biggest tipped employee ever, multi-millionaire, or did he throw it away on a hard drive? I
Jeremy
actually don't
Sturdivant?
know.
Yeah, that's a great question. I wonder how much. I wonder if any of that Bitcoin is quantum insecure.
All right. Oh, don't get me started. You better not get me started on the quantum security.
Sorry.
Like,
All right. We'll move on because there's a couple things I
the
did want to
sky's
talk
falling.
about. I did want to talk about a couple things. So Vitalik did post this morning. I was awake when he posted this. He is talking about native privacy because privacy and post quantum security are 2 very important things to him. Interestingly enough, and it's not on the agenda. There are multiple people who left the Ethereum Foundation this week. 3 of the biggest heads of what's going on. So I don't know if that means that we're just going to get some new blood coming in. That's the way I'm choosing to look at it. We're going to see some new blood try and take Ethereum in a different direction because a lot of the people who are there, Julian Ma and some of these others, have been there for years. So it's just like, we've been here for 4 or 5 years. Let's step back and let somebody else try and take the reins because it is a very high stress position, in my opinion, to be at the Ethereum Foundation helping drive not only just the adoption of Ethereum, but what's going to be happening next with Ethereum. Because to keep Ethereum credibly neutral, I think is a very difficult job, if we're being very honest, because in many ways it could possibly become the world's reserve currency at some point. But things that have he's signaled that's going to happen. So AA or account abstraction, plus FOCIL, which is I think for consensus, keyed nonces, and then access layer work with Kohaku and a couple of different privacy projects that he's very much interested in. One of them being Railgun. So this is going to be a very interesting move if they can make this happen with. I don't think it happens with. Yeah, Railgun. Let me find. We've talked about
Like
Railgun on the
that's
show.
a blockchain protocol with that name, not an
Correct. Yes.
actual
No. No. It's.
Tesla powered. Okay, I was like, geez, that's out of left field.
I mean, could
Sorry.
you really see? I mean, I just don't think Vitalik is a Railgun 50 cal guy. That's just me personally. But
We're making art toys. We've got like a new type of mouse and a crypto thing, and we're also
exactly,
directed energy weapons. It's like, what?
directed energy laser beam weapons
It's
only
like,
on
wait, hold
Ethereum.
on. Back up that tech stack. Um, so yeah, you just scared me there. It was like, what is Vitalik doing? Like, I know that there's some serious AI and quantum related security issues, but geez, buddy, you're gonna put a hole in the world.
Yeah, I mean,
Anyway,
native privacy is one that's interesting. I'm very curious to see, do they create their own or do they Sherlock something else that that somebody comments? Oh boy, gosh.
uh-oh.
Anyways, so this is a good thing to see because things that normally happen at Vitalik's level through and shout out to everyone like Ethereum magicians and stuff like that. That stuff trickles down to the layer twos and other Altel ones. So hopefully we'll see a really big push towards privacy over the next, let's say, 12 to 18 months. I know Glamsterdam is coming later on this year, and then, well, actually, Glamsterdam's not that far away. Hegata is the next one after that, and that update should be very interesting if they put all of this stuff in there. So, very curious to see what happens. This is all just kind of being spouted by Vitalik. So, how soon they can actually, put this up and out for testing will be very interesting. To those of you who think
Quantum and legislation are going to
yep.
be the three buzzwords of the year, basically, that surround crypto.
Well, I think the fourth buzzword is going to be agents.
Ooh, I think you're right. Actually,
let's talk about it for a second. So, this is a very interesting post because for those of you who think that crypto is still funny money, this is Kui Sheffield. He is the head of Visa's Crypto Labs division. By the way, Visa and MasterCard are very serious about blockchain. They've been in this space for 4 to 5 years testing the rails for credit card payments. And
yes.
they have a monster operation. I mean, not only just MasterCard, but Visa as well. They have a monster operation for moving money using blockchain and other agentic type rails. So he put out this very interesting, well, he's sponsoring this. He's co-signing off on this technical stack for autonomous agents. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this is off of another thing from Tiana Taylor, who was at Circle, and she talked about something that happens a lot. She's the co-founder of Venice, that's what it was. Talking about the problem with UX and sending coins to the wrong chain, right? Because right now, the way that things work, everything is all, look at all this stuff. It's still a pain in the butt to move coins between ecosystems. You have to use bridges. You have to use CEXs. You have to use some of the most inefficient ways to move money that have scary, when there's attacks, right? Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. It's like operating a Rube Goldberg device.
It is. And for me and for you, it's pretty easy to do because we've done this for years. But for people who are new to this space, like people that we will probably meet on Friday, Logan, for them to even think that they have to bridge money between, their bank account to something out in the digital ether is a terrifying idea for them.
Literally, we call it ether.
We do talk. Yeah, it is called ether technically.
It sounds like we're talking about mystical space money. Oh, you got to move it over to Ethereum. It's like, are you a wizard or a financial person?
I mean, can't. Most people I know can't even say Solana right. That most people I know they say Solano, and I'm like, what is Solano?
It's not an Italian restaurant.
We're going to move to Solano. Yes.
Yeah, this is spaghetti at Solano.
This is so good. It tastes like from my home city in Solano.
And sprinkle on some DeFi.
It is kind of like that in Solano, where you just sprinkle a little bit of DeFi. Anyway,
yes.
The
Okay, that
reason
was a nice.
why,
I'm sorry if we have any fully Italian
yeah,
listeners. It's an insult to
I mean,
your
I'm technically part Italian based on my lineage of my last name. Somehow, it sounds Italian. So people will ask, "Are you Italian?" I'm like, "Sure,
Hey, come on, and give him a little room.
yes, it's
Did
me.
I
It's your
really practice
friend."
for that? Oh man, I'm terrible. We are gonna get like listed, like we're gonna be banned on Twitter now.
Don't cancel us for wanting
I'm not
to
Italian.
emulate the fantastic Italian culture. But interestingly enough, and this brings up the one thing she brought up is that the, in my opinion, the future of user experience is going to be agents, because what's the one thing that has killed so many people in this space? Human error, right? Whether it's just you clicking the wrong link, you clicking, just put fat fingering an amount. I mean, I've seen people send $1 million to the wrong account on a CEX. It's painful.
Yep.
Um,
Just
Agents
oh
are
my
going to
gosh.
fix this, right? Agents are supposed to fix this. That you program it once, you verify it, 2 or 3 times, and then you let it do its thing in perpetuity. It's supposed to take care of this for you, especially in the case of OPSEC and security. Having an agent take care of things for you that will have top-notch security at all times are probably some things that you probably want. It'll automatically revoke approvals. It'll do all this stuff that we talk about that you should do by yourself. But having an agent or a program already do that for you without having to lift a finger is the frictionless approach that we're probably going to be looking for. The reason I bring this up is that one of my favorite tech events of the year, outside of WWDC from Apple, which is in a couple weeks, is Google taking the stage before them at Google I/O. And I, as a longtime developer, IT veteran, I love listening to Google I/O because they talk about a lot of Web 2 technologies where they're looking. They talk about Android. They talk about software development, patterns you can do to help integrate the next technology that's coming. And for many years, that was more about web technologies. It was about TypeScript and JavaScript. It was about multiple languages that are out there, and programming, creating the next great platform, right? And Android, and that's changed. It's interesting how much has changed in the last, especially in the last 18 months, because they still had, we're kind of looking at some AI things you can use to make life a little bit better. This year, barely any Android. It was all about AI and Gemini, and everything that they announced that I thought was interesting. They have a full agentic swarm available through, I think it's Gemini Spark. Yep, Gemini Spark can actually spawn agents for you and actually just do tasks. Like the on-chain demo had the gentleman in his phone, just saying, "Hey, can you do all of this stuff?" And then by the end of his speech, talking about the different agentic things they have going on, the agent was done doing everything that he needed, and it was like calendar stuff, booking dinner reservations, stuff that frankly most of us don't do. But what's crazy is that this is pretty much it, right? Nothing here with regards to the next great thing coming to Android or the Pixel phone, or I mean that comes at a different event now, but the point is it used to be more about how they're going to bring Google as a brand out to your phone. And now they've completely taken over the phone, and it's all about their AI development models. 3 years ago, they said that Google is going to be the leader in AI. This is absolutely cementing the fact that they are, and frankly, they're probably miles ahead of everyone else with consumer-facing AI. OpenAI, Claude, Anthropic, fantastic companies. They're building things. Even Venice, they're building amazing things by allowing them to be more of a layer around all of this. But the idea that they can do all this on your phone, they can do all this with basic things like not only just they have Ask YouTube, answers questions with summaries, video clips, and timestamps from videos. So what this all means is that the last 15 years of us browsing and using Google services, the whole 80/20 project that was Gmail and all these other things you've been doing on YouTube, you've been training a model for this moment. And I was absolutely terrified yesterday because I was like, oh my God, this is what this has all been for. A moment
Google
where
owned Niantic and Pokemon Go as well, and so you just mapped the entire planet for them. Good job, guys.
yeah, way to go, everybody. Way to train
Good
everything
job.
for them.
Good
And
job, guys.
because it was all free. Why?
Yeah.
For
Where's
this.
my money? I want my free AI at the very least. Like, give me like virtual Logan to help me out, at least for free, after training on all my craziness. But
Well,
yeah,
to be fair, they've made it easier to get into Gemini, and I like Gemini personally. I use Gemini quite a bit.
I use it all.
Gemini, there's Gemini Pro, which is still $20, and then Gemini Ultra. There's two versions. There's 0, 19, 100, and now 200. Because the original Ultra Plus Plus was $249 a month. It's now $200. So, what does that give you? That gives you really just upgraded everything. You get all the tokens. You let me see. You get access to. I can't see any of it. Anyway, it's all becoming AI based. And what's interesting is that, and this is the part that I talked about on the adoption pod last night. If you're to watch the crowd as they announce these things, the amount of apathy that was shown was insane. Like it was like people are like, they're like, this is the look on their face, like whatever. And I'm just like, guys, this is the revolution right in front of you, and most people do not care, or they have a very negative sentiment towards AI, like, oh, AI is going to take our jobs. Guys, we're past that point. AI is going to take over your life, whether you like it or not. Everything's going to be automated to the point that customer service is going to be completely AI based. The paradigms as to which you're going to figure out how to live life will probably be flip flopped in the next 3 to 5 years. Because one thing I thought about was the idea that, this is something. Well, Nick was talking about her son, and that she needed to get him some pediatric dental work, and it was kind of urgent, and they kept bouncing back and forth in an AI IVR loop in terms of a phone loop, and that's kind of the reality we're in, because everything is so disjointed and non-continuous. In a world where Web3 is kind of the standard, right? Where you own your data, you own your identity, and you own your currency. What we do is open up something like Gemini in the future and say, hey, my son's not having the best time with his teeth. I need to find someone who can fix it. The agent goes out, queries all of the available dentists in your area, tries to bid for the best rate, and then come back to you with that. And you say, yeah, it's great, book it. And then you go. And then you own your data, because right now everyone's data is in the cloud, right? Independent. Whereas you'll own your own data. You get to choose what information these services actually know about you, and you get to carry your data with you. Thanks to Buenos Aires having digital citizenship, that model where they don't even track your data anymore. They just give you your data. This is you. You were born here. This is your number. Go and have fun. We're going to see more of this. And it's going to be an interesting time as we transition to an area where services become something that fight for your information, not the other way around. Did I say that right?
Yes, and they're putting up flock cameras everywhere, so now they're going to know exactly.
Should we talk about flock cameras?
I mean, unfortunately, like, blockchain at this point has become so big that it has crossed over way outside of finance into artificial intelligence. A lot of the blockchain people are now, calling themselves AI experts. It's a meme at this point. And it's also crossing over into all the technologies because it's the backbone for all of it. It's like blockchain is the plumbing in the wall. It's all the pipes, and we're just now, like, some of these agents are going to be the valves and things that allow the data to flow through the walls without us really understanding how it works. But yes, we're going to be the ones generating that data, and we need to be careful because they are big brothers watching. Unfortunately, some of those old science fiction novels are starting to come true. Even here in Lincoln, flock cameras are going up, and there are people coming out with shirts and hats that'll interfere with the AI reading. And so this is going to
Which it
become
doesn't,
part
by
of
the
our
way,
life.
guys.
Huh?
Which it doesn't, by the way. Like people are like investing in like lasers and stuff to try and, break the camera. It's not gonna work. I mean,
You're going to have to go out there with a hacksaw and not cut it down and not sell all the precious metals inside because that would be illegal. I'm not ever advocating for anything like that. It would be a
right.
shame and a on society.
I mean, let's kind of
That
so let.
said,
Ugh, ugh.
sorry, where did this DeFi talk go?
No, I
We're
know, but
talking about
I mean, we're because we were talking about user experience, right? So agents are going to be the way that takes care of everything for us. But at the same time, if we're living in an age of agents, but we're also living in an age of updated surveillance. What does that mean? Obviously, there are flock cameras. And interestingly enough, I think the reason why we have flock cameras is because there's only so much people were willing to do with ring cameras. For people who don't know, if you buy a ring camera with the EULA, the end user license agreement, you're automatically opting into something called Neighbors, I believe is what it's called, which is a surveillance network that helps keep your neighborhood safe. And it's also available to the police department to look at any ring cam that they want. Uh, I think specifically the doorbell cams, but that doesn't mean they can't access the other stuff, right? And this is caused, like, for people that don't know, this is an issue, right? So it's like, yes, in the name of public safety, back the blue. We're also in a stage where suddenly there's cameras everywhere. And now you're like kind of questioning, especially, and this is with flock. Um, Let me see if I can get a flock. Because
I'm not necessarily opposed to having surveillance. It's just the problem is I want transparent surveillance. Are there going to be cameras in the politicians' offices? Are there going to be cameras making sure that the people at the top aren't abusing the surveillance? We need cameras on the cameras. And if we're going to do surveillance, we better do it right and not let one group have control over watching all the rest of us. We need to be in charge of the surveillance if we're going to have it. Otherwise, it should not exist. It's
I
pretty
agree.
straightforward.
So, yeah, I bookmarked this yesterday too, or the other day. What's interesting is that there's a density map specifically where the majority. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm naive enough because I'm just so busy. I had no idea they'd put up this many cameras. Excuse me.
They've been going up very quietly. I
Yeah.
noticed them in Lincoln. I think I did.
Give me a comment or give me a like if you see these in your neighborhood. I'll be honest, I'm ignorant. I had no idea that the majority. Like when I look at this density map, I almost spit my drink out. I'm like, there's that many already.
It's a wide net,
Yeah,
and then Trump went with all the tech people to China, and it's like, what were they talking about? Were they talking about flock cameras and how the credit system works there and how they implement something similar in the United States? Uh, Honestly, the way China has done stuff is so sci-fi dystopian. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if we started importing some of their ideas and the blockchain technology gets used against us in that way a little bit. Because technologies aren't inherently good or bad. And so it gets plugged into these systems, and suddenly we have a little number, just like our social security number, but far more robust. Something that can identify us by face, by the way we walk, by heartbeat, because that's what's in those flock sensors. They're actually putting in heartbeat sensors so that they can tell who you are even if you mask your face, because you can't fake your heartbeat very well. Well, you can. It's just really tough. Not all of us are like prepared to go to that level of technology. They know your gait, meaning the way that you walk, the unique way that you lumber or sway. They know that. So they're learning how to identify things like that. It's terrifying.
interesting. Wait, so I just thought I read something. Flock isn't really. They're not owned by Palantir, are they?
Yes. Oh
No.
God. Guys, you're witnessing Chris have a moment. Oh God. Okay, we need to make groups of 50 people and go around and start getting our clubs and pitchforks. Who's with me? Down in the comments, tell me if you're using a pitchfork or a hoe.
I'm Captain Save a Hope. Anyway,
Get your hose. Oh boy. We're in trouble. Yep. Welcome to the United States of Palantir. But it's AI, like you're using the AI and the cameras, and it all plugs into these other systems. And so
But look at the framing. Look at the framing here, right? An open source project mapping license plate readers, which is kind of what this was quote unquote supposed to be used for. But the ability for them to get make, model, color, and identifying features, and all you have to do is figure out a way to push this against the DMV and then get actual data, which I'm sure they already have. The NSA is very clever, guys. This is, how did they, oh my God. How did they push all this without all of us realizing this? And why is there not a DPIN project on this? Why is this not in crypto with a token and a DPIN project? Oh my gosh. This is, how was I so ignorant to not see this?
There's too many things to see, and they're busy watching us, not telling us that they are. So, I mean, they kind of are, but like again, we're awash in this media ocean to the point where our poor little human brains just simply can't keep up with the news cycle anymore. We used to have, I'm an 80s baby, so I remember when we only had 20, 30 channels unless you paid extra. And so people all watched the same thing. We were all talking about the same news. We were more or less on the same page. We could all talk about the same topics. But now, like I said, there's people that don't know what Bitcoin is. It's like, have you lived under a rock? And the answer is yes. They live on a rock. It's called Earth. But they're not going to be able to get all the information. And so there are people out in Loop City, Nebraska, they're too busy enjoying the fresh breeze and fishing and hunting and all that fun stuff to worry about who bit their coin. So, at the end of the day, they don't need to know about it, but it's the same thing with the flock cameras. It's the same thing with the CBDC. A lot of people don't know about this stuff, and it's literally existential threat level stuff. And we're going going to work, and sometimes the less you know, the better. But at the same time, knowledge is power. So I guess pick your poison.
Yeah, surveillance as a service is what they push. Interesting.
There's another SWC president right now hosting a talk with Snoop, and she's stealing all of our audience, Chris. I'm so mad.
That's okay. Tell her to
I wish I was Dog. I'm sorry, dude.
Wait, Snoop Dogg?
Yeah. Wow. SWC presidents, a couple of them pull a lot of weight. Our California and New York president are pretty big.
Oh, yeah, I know her. She's very brilliant. Yeah, we'll have to have her on sometime.
I love her. If you'd like to have her on, I could talk to her.
Yeah, I would love to have Miss Nifty. Are you kidding me? Of course.
I could probably get her on for you.
I would take any other SWC president on here with you. That'd be great. That'd be a good time.
I would be happy to pull on some SWC presidents. I will talk to a couple. So if anyone else is actually interested in talking to any of the other states for some reason in particular, I know Iowa's awesome. Scrimmy is cool. We could get South Dakota. Some of the neighboring. I don't want to spoil our special brand.
No, I think it would just be cool just to get other people on that, just because it's hard for us to find other like-minded people. So just understanding how people feel about a lot of the things that are going on in the world today, I think would be very interesting. So yeah, if you could facilitate that'd be fantastic, sir. Thank you. Let me go ahead and just grab the last story I wanted to talk about, because I know we're a bit over time. I thank you so much, Logan, for being here. The other big news from the week, and we didn't talk about this enough last week, is that Coinbase is now the official treasury deployer of USDC. Not only, so this is the reason why we talked about hype. They significantly increased our position of stake type. What this also means, as part of the transaction, and again, this happened earlier this year. Native Markets won the the ability to have their USDH token be the official token, a stable coin of Hyperliquid. This is now being sunset, and Coinbase is walking right in with USDC to make USDC the official backing trading pair stablecoin for the entire Hyperliquid Core, which frankly it already was, but to see it this way, because if you use Hyperliquid Core now, you can you onboard using USDC on Arbitrum. That's the front door for Hyperliquid Core. But now seeing this is just going to be USDC everywhere, which frankly I was shocked that they didn't win in the first place when they had, because they had a little bit of a dog and pony show, like who wants to be the official stablecoin of Hyperliquid. This was earlier this year, and Paxos, Athena with USDE, Paxos with USDG, Tether kind of made a ploy. Coinbase, or rather Circle, didn't really make much of a ploy, and then USDH, they had the most hype stakes. So from a plutocracy standpoint, they were always going to win, which I think is why they didn't bother too much. But now that they've done this and they've literally sunset native markets in USDH, I'm just like, what was the last 6 months? But this is interesting because we went from USDT. Let's just look at the market cap here. USDT has a market cap of $189 billion.
Yeah, that's a lot of
right.
Lot of bucks.
They've always been the market leader with regards to stablecoins for years now. And at one point they were 75% of the market, whereas USDC has always been like the second place. Not even close to even half. Athena is the closest now. It's jumped Sky or Maker. Actually, I take that back. They're going back and forth with DAI, which is now, it's been, you can say it's been sunset for USDS, but USDE, which is Athena, in my opinion, is the true third place in that case. But USDC now taking its place as the official stablecoin of Hyperliquid, with Hyperliquid on the trajectory that it's at, continuing to just torch everybody with regards to being the best perp dex in all of decentralized finance. And I'm not saying that because of any type of bias. It's just the facts. They have eaten everybody for lunch. DYDX, done. Gains, done. GMX, done. Synthetics, done. Hyperliquid has eclipsed them all combined. And it's kind of crazy how it all just kind of rolled out. And now USDC is their official stablecoin. This is nothing but bullish for Circle stock. Man, it's kind of interesting because we knew at some point Tether was going to lose their dominance, and I think they're still holding about 60%. We may start to see those scales start to tip. Not that Tether needs to prove anything because they make so much money and they own so much gold and UST bills. They're fine. They also have less than 30 employees, whereas opposed to Circle has many more. So they're fine. But it's just a very interesting development on what's probably going to happen with their domain expansion. It makes me more bullish on Coinbase. Well, we'll kind of see how this kind of I mean, everybody's got the partnerships in the background, so maybe this is all just theater. But I still think this is a very interesting announcement that they've put out. More the fact that native markets had to sunset. I'm like,
it's like another finger like on the grip, and we're gonna see this stablecoin phenomenon absolutely take over our financial system, and this is just another one of the Legos in the brick wall that we're building as technologists. It's coming. Hopefully we get to have a say on what those Legos look like. But yeah, we'll see. I think this is just another sign. It's not necessarily something to start whipping the herd over. I think we've got actually bigger news, but it's promising, I would say.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's very promising. I think we're just in we're in a situation where As long as there's volume, as long as there's competition, things about DeFi are going to win, and I think that's what we want to see. And we'll see exactly where it all kind of lays out. And but it's a very interesting development, especially with all of the policy changes. I do think, as much as I didn't think that the Clarity Act would pass this year, I think they're going to do what they need to do to get it to pass, and then they start building on top of it. Probably things we're not going to like, if I'm going to be very honest. But the
I'm
fact that the
worried that
found exactly right. So August 1st, where we what did we talk about? That was starting August 1st. Um, we talked about something that's starting August 1st, but oh, it's
I must have
something with
missed a
oh
date.
right, it's the Minnesota bill.
They're the new laws for the stable coins for the
Just for
local
Bitcoin or
bank.
other digital assets. So
Okay, sure.
let's
They've
let,
got a
so
new.
let's just lay this out, Logan. So let's say that for quote unquote America's birthday on July 4th, we get the Clarity Act signed and pushed into law. We have this bill starting August 1st in Minnesota. We have the bill in South Carolina. We have pretty much every big financial institution allowing their customers, at the very minimum, 4% of their private portfolios to be Bitcoin and digital assets and Ethereum. Do we see a huge move upwards by August? Let's call it September 1st.
Do we see a huge pump in the market?
Yeah. Is it inevitable?
No, I would never ever say that anything's inevitable. That's a word trap, Chris. I'm not gonna fall for that trap. Um, what do you think this is? My first rodeo. I don't know. I think there are too many factors to say. Legislatively, I would say things are looking green, like really green. Whether you love the Trump campaign or not, it doesn't matter for crypto. The guy is absolutely pushing stuff through. He doesn't seem to care about regulation or red tape personally. And it seems like most of the Republicans are on board and a lot of the Democrats are too, especially from people I've talked to. So on the legislative side, I'm throwing a party. However, on the security side, with the new AI advancements and the advancements in quantum computing, I am red. I'm not throwing a party. I'm hiding under a rock until the sky falls and I can come out and pick up the pieces. And so I'm like I hate to sing both songs, but I'm do the ballet and break dance.
Yeah. I mean, I
Like
think
it's both. Like we're seeing great. Like it's the industry's promising, but we're gonna have a reckoning
yeah.
before we see, you know, the next real big leg up. Like the thing we're waiting for is there's going to be a big dip in the road. There's going to be an evolutionary bottleneck first. But then probably by the end of the year, probably by the end of next year, I would say the market's going to really, really be ripping. And so right now is the time where you need to be shopping around for the cool projects that are actually doing meaningful things, not just shuffling money around or, doing a copy and paste job. Like there are actual building projects that are building stuff that are far more meaningful now than what you normally see in a bull market. So my advice, if you're out there, is go start looking at the blockchain projects that are making something bigger than fast money, and things that are focused on security, privacy, law and legislation and governance, and really take a look at those projects carefully, because now is when the fortunes are made, not later when the price has already gone up. That's too late. You need to be figuring out what to buy now when the market's just absolutely eating it. And there is a lot of good options out there.
Yeah, we often say in our communities that bull markets make you rich, but bear markets make you wealthy.
Ooh, that's a zinger. I'm
Yeah,
putting that in my back pocket.
no, it's absolutely true, right? Because
It's true.
that's where we're at in the cycle right now. Whether you like to think about it or not, we've been in a bear market for quite some time. For people who are like talking about the bull, I mean, we were in a we called the structural bull back in October of 2023, guys. That means we've been technically in a bull for more than 1,000 days. That's just not something that is sustainable if you think about it just from the commonsensical point of it. So,
Take your birthday hat off. Come on,
what
guys.
the other point I wanted to make here is, based on everything that's been happening geopolitically, I think it's fairly obvious at this point that uh, there's now a new war for digital assets that's forming. We've got the U.S. who wants to be the leader of everything, which is literally what is in the it's in the actual thing. Oops, it's in the actual right here. The U.S. is a global leader. Actually, I think he meant to say the global leader in financial innovation. I'm surprised he didn't say that, to be honest.
Right.
The U.S., the EU, and China. They're all going to fight for supremacy in digital assets, whether it's through AI, whether it's through mining, or whether it's through digital asset staking and liquidity. They're all fighting for who's going. This is the new, in my opinion, the new Cold War that's going to be building over time.
The U.S. military came out and said it. They said that
Yep,
Bitcoin is a national security issue. It's
yep,
like there's no arguing. It's not an opinion anymore.
nope,
It's like this is the way it is. Like I
completely
don't
agree.
care what it says about it. It's like, well, there's the sky is blue and the earth is round dish, and we can argue about that all day and night. Maybe the birds are robots, and all that fun stuff. But yeah, here we are. This is real.
Who knew that
Like,
GPUs were going to be the commodity that unlocked all of it?
right?
Right?
God, I wanted to upgrade my computer and looking at it's like, nah, why, oh my God, I want some GPU power. And it's like, no, you're not getting it right now.
Well, what's
Uh,
interesting is that when you have groups like when you have Nvidia coming out, rolling out 3000 series on a rebrand, on a remint rather, because it's just something they can more easily bin uh, to sell out there, and it's plenty enough to do most things. It's kind of crazy when you look at it from that standpoint. Um, it just turns into the ugly part is it kind of it just, as we always say, everything is straying away from Satoshi's vision, right? This more of this just continues to move towards the sovereign power, the control over it, as opposed to the free market, quote unquote, cypherpunk nature of how it all was supposed to be, right? We're going from nations holding to nation states creating and building, which is going to be, let's be honest, that's kind of the scary part. It's like we knew that at some point the whole thing was going to have to break down in order to build things back up. And maybe we will still see that. I'm not going to say that this is going to happen, obviously not financial advice, but I do think that if you are not expecting a hard landing by the end of this year, you might be kidding yourself. And I'm an eternal optimist. And I think things are going to go absolutely into the gutter by the end of this year due to everything that's going on. With that said, it's crazy that at the middle of it is going to be China, GPUs, and Japan. I should actually talk about that because Japan has decided to make crypto an official tender, right? When
a
is that?
payment method.
A
So they're
payment
probably going to
method.
be able to use it on their Suica cards. So the way Japan works, and I lived there for 16 years, you don't use a credit card and it's mostly a cash society, but they have these cards that they use to take the train. Depending on which region of Japan you're in, it could be the Pasmo or the Suica card, North and South Japan, respectively, East and West. Uh, so what you end up doing is you put your money on these cards and you just go boop to get into the train. But it's Japan, so they have that technology everywhere. So you can go boop at 7-Eleven to buy your food with your train card. You can go to 7-Eleven to pay your taxes. You go to 7-Eleven to pay all of your electric bills, your water bills. Some places you can go to 7-Eleven to pay your rent. And you go boop with that little Suica card. So what they're going to do is they're going to digitize the yen. I was talking to JPYR, recently about this. Japan's ready for this. They love this stuff.
They've been ready
It's
for
going to be
years.
tough. It's so cash heavy. They love cash as a society, but they've through that Suica train card system, they have made the population adopt digital currency in a way that they still don't see coming.
I mean, Japan has
That's
tested a CBDC 3 times.
They're way ahead. I used to live 100% on crypto in Japan. I was able to spend the equivalent of $8 and convert any amount of yen into cash under $2,000 and just go get it from, again, 7-Eleven. And you just go and you get your money. Like it's that easy. And so when I came back to the US after 16 years of living in East Asia and tried to do this crypto thing here, no. We do understand how well crypto works in this country. If you haven't lived outside of the country and used crypto, you don't understand how it works. It is seamless, it's painless, it's easy, it's everything we always dreamed of it being. We have literally hamstrung it to death in this country. I was going to crypto ATMs and paying 40% fees to get cash. That's robbery. I felt like I was getting violated. But that's the norm in the U.S. And so we've gotten so used to it. It's just like, well, yeah, you pay a 40% fee. It's like, no, guys, I could pay $8 to get it $2,000 cash in 5 minutes at the convenience store, and then go get a hot dog and a beer on my way out.
At the
And
konbini.
yes, at the combini. And so the way we are not living in a free country financially. I hate to say it, but we have the opposite of freedom here. We're heading more towards China and less towards Japan. It bothers me. It's why I do my work at Stand with Crypto. It's why I need help from listeners and trying to rally all the Nebraskans, because we're stronger together, and they do need to respect us. They need to respect our privacy, our data, our rights to move the money around. I won't go on my full tirade, but I've tasted what actual financial freedom tastes like, and it's so sweet. I want Americans to understand it. And it breaks my heart that we're not, even with Trump jamming things through, we're not even close to where Japan was. And I'm talking about 10 years ago. I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about 10 years ago. I was living off of crypto in Japan. They are that far ahead. Sad for us. We've got 10,000 Liz Warrens to get past.
Well, Logan, arigato gozaimasu.
どういたしまして。楽しかった、本当に。Thank you, Chris.
You're very welcome. Always a pleasure to have you on, sir. I had another thing showing up because, you know, in my opinion, Japan has been the linchpin, I think, to the global economy for quite some time. And we're going to see an interesting change, guys. Japan, you know, talking about June 1st for having crypto being a good way to pay for things. They raised the yen on yield curve control to 1% on June 1st as well. We'll see exactly what the butterfly effects are going to be from that. I do think we have the ability to definitely go lower off of this news, but it all depends on how things work out over the next couple of weeks and months as we see exactly how clarity kind of plays into how people feel overall about this. So again, Logan, please tell people how they can find out more about you, sir. Thank you again for being here.
I am Crypto Logan on Twitter. That's Crypto Logan, no spaces and no O's. It's zeros instead of O's. So you're going to replace the O in crypto and the O in Logan. And then I'm also running LF0 Tech. I just started my own LLC. We're doing boutique R&D development here in Nebraska. So if you're interested in hardware tech, replacing the mouse, and creating a new government platform, you can go ahead and give me a follow. We're building the future. And see us at the pizza party on Friday if you're in Nebraska. My goodness, or any state, you reach out. We can get you into your local pizza party. If you're not in Nebraska, there is one in every single city, and I know who is holding every single one. So if you're interested in going to get some free pizza, even if you don't care about crypto, come let me know, and I'll point you to the pepperoni.
Yeah, at least get some good New York style pizza. I mean, Williamsburg Pizza, the only other branches they have are in Brooklyn, New York. So you're getting true Brooklyn pizza. Making a pizza.
We've been really hitting on the Italians this episode, and I feel terrible. Sorry.
I love Italians.
I do
They're
too,
some of my
actually.
favorite people.
We are lovely people.
Yes. So again, we do this show every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern. Check us out every week for a panelist or two going through the news and educating you on what's out there, giving you some analysis and some takes on things you should be looking at as an investor in this space. Check us out on Friday if you're curious with our other podcast, which is every Friday 3 p.m. Eastern for Beat the Banks, where we give you some free training and just some ideas on how to keep you in the world of self-custody and in the era of making sure that you have full control over your finances and beating those banks. That said, we will see you guys next week. Have a great day. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks to everybody who was listening. Really appreciate that. Again, like, follow, subscribe. Tell your friends about us. We'd really greatly appreciate that. And we will see you on Friday for Pizza Day.
We like friends.
Yeah, we're gonna try and live stream it, either from my phone, from my laptop. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Take it easy, everyone.
Take care, everybody. Have a great day. Stay safe, especially in the era of mini Shai Halud. Please be safe. Rotate your GitHub secrets if you're a developer. Rotate it all, because GitHub got exploited again. What do we do? We'll figure it out. Take care. We'll see you later. Beacons up. Banks down. Have a great day, everybody.